Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Techie Talks AI. Today we are diving into a project that bridges the gap between theory and practice. We have all heard about the power of AI agents and protocols that allow them to communicate with various tools and services. But seeing a working code is 1,000 times better than just seeing the theory. In this video, we'll be exploring the Universal MCP Model Context Protocol Agent, a powerful Streamlit application that demonstrates the Model Context Protocol in action. Hi, welcome to Techie Talks AI. I'm Sri from Shogini. On this channel, we showcase hands-on demos and insights into AI automation and no-code tools. We have created several Make.com modules to simplify no-code automation for you. Subscribe and join us on this journey into the future of technology. We will walk through the entire application from the user interface to the underlying code that makes it all work. The link to the code will be in the description below, so you can follow along and even run it yourself. So what is Universal MCP Agent? It is an intelligent agent that can connect to different MCP servers. Think of MCP as a universal language that allows our agent to talk to various external services like GitHub, your local file system, and more. This application provides a user-friendly interface to interact with these services through a chat-based interface or chat-based experience. On the left-hand side, you can see the sidebar, and here we can choose a model for which you have the API key, and below that you have a drop-down to choose an MCP server to work with. We have just one MCP server, GitHub MCP server, which is very powerful. So all these questions will pertain to that specific MCP server that we are selecting here. So for this demo, we'll be focusing on the GitHub MCP server. So before we get into the code, let's see how it works. So after we select an MCP server, it will connect to that MCP server. Okay, and then we can ask anything about the repo, because this is about GitHub repo. We can ask anything about any GitHub repo. I'm asking, tell me about a popular Python repo. So it is giving the details of the popular Python repo with a link to the repo. Show me the recent issues in a repository. That was my question, and it says, please give the repository URL, which is understandable. Next is, I asked, what tools do you have? So this is expected to respond back the tools that are provided in GitHub's MCP server. So it is giving us a list of tools. We have 26 tools available in our GitHub MCP server. Next, what I've asked is, can you list the files in this repo? This is one of my repo. It is able to locate the files and folders in that repo. Then I asked, can you show the contents of docker-compose.yaml file that is present in this repo? So it is able to list the file. It is able to show the file contents and also give us an explanation. So that makes it very handy without us having to copy the file and run any local CLI or paste it onto a AI chat interface. Here we can directly give the URL and ask it to explain. So that is in a nutshell what the application is. And on the left side we have some ready-made questions that we can ask, and we can also export the chat interface as an MD file. And another interesting thing is, previous chat sessions are saved here. You can also rename the chat session so that we can recall them without having to externally copy the contents. Now let's look at the code. We have the app.py. That is the main file that runs. That is Streamlit space run space app.py. Here we have the imports of the required Python libraries. And this is the list where we define the MCP server that we are interested in working with. We have GitHub. If you need to add any other MCP server, just duplicate this section and add that MCP server for which you have access to. Then we have initialized method to initialize our agent that is expected to talk to the MCP server, restart agent, and on model change. That is, from the drop down, if we choose another model, this function gets called. Then on MCP server change, that is, from the drop down, if we choose another MCP server to work with, this method gets called. And this is the main function. Most of the lines are Streamlit related, UI related lines, which we have covered in all our previous videos, and they're self-explanatory. So this is the sidebar, which is going to list the models from this models list. Same way we have the MCP server list, and here the create agent method, which is going to call the get MCP agent. We will see that agent, we will see this function that is there in the MCP agent.py file. Okay, here we have the predefined questions, and this is the prompt where we can enter our question, and all these get added to the user key of this prompt. Add underscore message will insert this prompt as the user key, as the user value. And even the predefined questions also, when we click, the prompt gets added as the user item in the prompt. Okay, and then finally, this is where we run the agent. MCP underscore agent a run, asynchronous run, will talk to the agent in a streaming fashion, so that agent returns chunks which can be displayed onto our UI dynamically live. Okay, so that is about the app.py. Now MCP agent.py is where we create the agent. It uses the database to save the sessions. It is running in a Docker container. The command to run is also given in the link that we are sharing in the description. And it also has a vector knowledge base. So in this case, we have one knowledge text added, that is model context protocol specification document is added as a vector database, so we can ask anything about MCP to our interface. So this is the prompt being used by our agent. And finally, this is where we define the agent. It has the database, it has the knowledge base, and it also has the MCP tools. So this is important because our focus is to add that specific MCP tool to our agent, so that whatever questions we ask, agent will invoke the MCP tool. So when we call this MCP agent, MCP tool is passed. And finally, it returns the agent object. And that is a wrap. We have seen how the universal MCP agent uses the model context protocol to connect to external services, and how it's all put together with Streamlit and the Agno library. This is a fantastic example of how you can build powerful interactive AI applications. I encourage you to check out the code on GitHub. The link is in the description. Play around with it. Try connecting to different MCP servers and see what you can build. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Happy coding! Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Your support really helps. Have ideas or suggestions? Drop them in the comments. Let's build together. At Shogini, we offer expert NoCodeMake.com and Python AI automation consulting with ready-to-use modules to jumpstart your projects. Stay tuned and subscribe for more.